Good evening. It's August 17th, 2018. It is approximately it's approximately 10:44. And I'm just making this quick YouTube video, sort of mini documentary to explain my love of Titanic and how long I've been into Titanic and how long I've been into ocean liners. So, what you see in front of you right now in this video is various different books that I have read over the years. There are more books that are at the library on the Titanic and ocean liners that I read, and I can't remember all the titles off the top of my head. But I would say two of the best books that I've read in the last 10 years are On a Sea of Glass and SS Titanic Reprisal. I give On a Sea of Glass an 85. I've had discussions on Facebook with the historians of why I gave that grade. There are various things in that book that I still do not agree with, that I'm still trying to undo in my mind. And I also don't like the fact that it's a very, very long book to read. I understand that they tried to get as much information in there as they had researched, and that was humanly possible. But I give the other book before it, SS Titanic Reprisal, a 90, because I felt like it was more technical, and I felt like it was basically easy for me to understand. And so that's why I gave that book a 90. Another reason I'm making this video is because it seems like in the last 10 to 15 years, that documentaries have been coming out that have been very lackluster and seem to just be focusing on debunking a lot of BS theories. Now, I understand that because there are some historians who are supposed to be Titanic historians, but they seem to be more like conspiracy theorists more than Titanic historians. So I understand why people like Titanic Honor and Glory and people like Don Lynch and Ken Marshall and all the great Titanic historians are doing their best to debunk these theories. But I've been into Titanic and I've been reading a lot of books on ocean liners Titanic since the 4th grade, since 1996. So we're talking a good almost 23 years of my life. And I'm 32 years old today. And once you get into Titanic, once it touches you in your life, it's very hard to get it out of your life. Especially if you're a person who has Asperger's. So it's really hard to get Titanic out of your life. And Titanic has been a part of my life for a good 80% of it. And so when I see these documentaries and I see these things that are just not true, like, oh, the watertight compartments were weak. Those watertight compartments were not weak. The steel was not weak. I don't know how many times that I've seen in History Channel documentaries or National Geographic documentaries on how many times they tested that steel and how many times they tested those rivets. There was nothing wrong with Titanic. The reason why the Titanic sank was because it was a horrible, terrible accident. There were multiple reasons. And how many books do I have in front of me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Probably 8 or more reasons why the Titanic sank. And they all work together. Right? But I also feel, too, that as horrible as an accident that it was, and that 1,496 people died, or if we round it off to 1,500, that's what people say, 1,500 people. We benefit from that today. I directly, myself, benefit from their deaths. Because if it wasn't for Titanic, we wouldn't have emergency lifeboat drills, 24-hour wireless, enough lifeboats for every single person. Just an awareness of what's going on the ship in an emergency. And we've seen with the Casca Concordia that we still have a lot of ways to go. We're not perfect. We're not there. But we're better off today, 106 years on, than we were back in Titanic's time. I look at the sinking of the Titanic as a horrible human tragedy that had to happen. If it had happened, for example, like to the Olympic or the Lusitania or the Mauritania, I don't think it would have been a great, massive impact in the way that Titanic was. There's just something about the name, the fact that it happened on its maiden voyage, the fact that the general public and people at large believed that the Titanic was unsinkable, or practically unsinkable. All of this is the reason why the Titanic has such a profound effect on people, and has such a profound effect on us today. That's why we're still fascinated by it. I think we're still fascinated by it because we still quite don't really understand. You know, we understand, we have, for example, I consider myself to be an amateur historian and I have a basic understanding of Titanic, but I think the reason why it gravitates me so much is because, as Walter Lord, the historian, would say, there are so many what-ifs that go on forever. And so I think we're always going to be into Titanic for all of time. I think I'm running out of recording minutes. You get to see my face. This is my face, and it's terrible. I'm tired, and you get to see my face for a little while. It's probably terrible. I don't know how I did on my speaking. A lot of my friends think I should do a radio show or something. I have contemplating doing that, but I don't think I'm ready for that yet. So that's, I guess, my little mini documentary, I guess you can call it, or a podcast, or whatever. Maybe I'll make more when I have more time on my video and I'm a little bit more organized. I think this was just sort of off the cuff sort of thing. But I hope everybody has a good night. Bye.